Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in for another very interesting conversation this week, as we're going to be discussing the topic of subconsciously healing. Also in this week's episode, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their wisdom and communications through. And then later on in the show, we have this week's energy forecast reading, which will hopefully help you navigate your way through the twists and turns of this week ahead. So let's crack on. We're going to be talking today, as I say, about subconsciously healing. So what do I mean by making that heading there? I'm talking about that we're all vessels of light for energy to transmit through us and from us. We all have that ability to do that, and in many cases, in fact, all cases, we're all subconsciously doing it literally without even realizing it. And this is how vibrations are changed in collectives, in societies, in our planet, simply because we're transmitters and receivers of information and vibration and energy. And so we're talking about this today. And as we know, we're all continually changing in each and every nanosecond of every single day there. And we change our thoughts, we change our feelings, our emotions. We can change our mind about decision-making processes, in a drop of a hat there. So with this being said, everything is continually shifting and changing and adjusting to make those changes align and balance for the greater collective. This being said, like we've just been mentioning, we're all vessels for light and energy and healing vibrations to transmit through. So wherever we happen to go, whoever we happen to be talking to or hanging out with or being in that environment, there is an energy exchange. There is healing. There is cleansing. There is upgrades, there's ascension upgrades, there's DNA reconfiguration. All of these things are happening, and these are happening behind the scenes without us even, like we say, consciously being aware of that this is happening. And it's a beautiful thing, and I've personally have experienced it and observed it in action many, many times. And I want to say that everybody that's listening, you also have the opportunity to observe this process occurring behind the scenes. It's just a case of focusing and dialing into it and shutting out the noise of the world, so to speak, the chaos of your mind, the busyness of society, and just tuning in and observing these energies and situations that are occurring behind the scenes. Now, what I mean by this is universal energy transmits these vibrations, these frequencies, and we project these energies onto other people, whether we're in our family environment, whether we're visiting new family members or friends or new social circles. This energy takes the opportunity to reconfigure and balance the vibrations in those atmospheres so that everybody can benefit from that collective gathering of energy and consciousness there. Like we said earlier, everybody is constantly changing in vibration. Their thoughts, their ideas, their choices are changing. And with that being said, it has a knock-on effect to everything and everyone around them. So when you are in a collective, notice some environments you feel absolutely empowered, you feel inspired, you feel supercharged. And I would say on some level, this is what is occurring. I mean, for those of you that have attended either spiritual development circles, will notice how quick you start to develop and open up as a sensitive, as a medium, because of the collective energy and the conscious energy and even the subconscious energy in these circles that are blending, that are enhancing, and also bringing forward ascension codes and downloads and healing vibrations, allowing the cleansing to take place. And it's within these environments that, you let go of a lot of the old hurts, the old belief systems that have been holding you back. And because the energy within the circle is continually shifting and blending with every single individual within that circle, everybody benefits. And like I say, you begin to notice that people start to develop very quickly with their spiritual gifts and abilities because of this collective blending of energy there, and this acceptance and allowance of it infiltrating their vibration. It's almost switching their faculties back on that have laid dormant for quite some time. It's a beautiful experience. As you know, obviously I'm a medium, and this is the way that I essentially developed in a spiritual circle. And so with first-hand experience, I noticed that with fellow colleagues, the quickening of how they developed their gifts and abilities, also my very own as well, how the sensitivity came on. And when you met weekly with these individuals in the spirit development circle, it was almost like family, but not blood related, and you had a feeling when something wasn't right with them. You just felt it in their vibration, and you felt it in the circle. And so healing was then sent and intentionally asked for that individual or the collective of the circle before the circle even began. And with doing that, it, like I say, all of these shifts and changes and frequency amendments were being adjusted behind the scenes so that everybody within that development circle could blend and function at a higher vibration. So it's an absolutely incredible thing to witness. If anybody has the opportunity or gets invited to attend a spiritual development circle, I would certainly recommend it, because it not only has an impact on your sensitivity, your natural spiritual gifts and abilities, but also it has an impact on your lifestyle, the way that you interact with family, with friends, the way that you perceive life also begins to change. And this is all because of these vibrations and frequencies that have been working and blending with you behind the scenes. So it's a beautiful thing to occur. But if you're not involved in a spiritual circle or invited to one, then what you will notice when you're out and about is maybe those of you that are paying attention, and I'm not having a go at people, but because we're all busy, we're all consumed with life, we're generally focusing in on what we need to do at that moment. But like I say, if you take a step back and just observe with non-judgment, you begin to realize that when you're out and about, maybe going shopping or in the supermarket or wherever you happen to be, where there's quite a large number of people around you, you'll begin to observe that on some level, other people's vibrations, similar to that of a spirit circle, will start to change. Their behavior will start to change in a more positive manner. So to adjust for your vibration being in their vibration and vice versa. And what is happening behind the scenes is the energy is actually filtering through you as a vessel, and on an energetic level, you're adjusting their vibration, making some tweaks, making amendments. Who's to say what's truly happening, but potentially you're awakening that individual, you're switching on dormant DNA, you're also installing high vibrational frequency codes within those individuals in that environment. And these frequencies can have a positive impact. Sometimes as an observer, you can witness some negative effects of this process. And I mean negative in a positive way, if there's such a thing, because it's very short-term negative. And what I mean by that, these high vibrational codes will infiltrate the individuals around you to the point where anything that isn't of that vibration, such as like belief systems or maybe anger or frustrations, or people may be assigning blame to other people, then all of those vibrations will rise up to the surface, a little bit like oil and water, how they don't mix. Well, this oil or the negative energy within the vessel of the individuals around you will start to rise up to the surface and will start to be displayed in their behavior. Or maybe they have a rant or something like that, or maybe they feel agitated in the beginning stages anyway, by these new high vibrational frequencies that are occurring in that environment. And it is down to the individual's choice whether they allow themselves to process this old information that's coming up to the surface, these negative thoughts, emotions, maybe attachments to other people that they no longer need in their life, because these high vibrational codes are there to encourage that old version of themselves to the surface so it can be observed and then let go of, to be healed, so that they're vibrating at a more constant high vibrational frequency. So you may start to observe that. And this also can occur with family members or friends, people that are close to you as well. You may suddenly notice that when you shift and change, a bit similar to the spiritualist development circle, that your vibration will have an impact on them and they will start to change. Initially, they may start blaming you for things that are happening in their life, or maybe their emotions and how they're feeling confused and mixed up, again, because of all these old vibrations and frequencies that they're holding on to are coming to the surface to be released. So please do not take this personally if you do happen to be witnessing that. It's simply part of the process. Just be that supportive role. Don't judge them. Don't point the finger. Just simply be there for them and share your wisdoms with them, and just allow them to process these energies and informations at their own speed there. With some of you, you may feel that the energies are so severe that, for want of a better word, the universe takes it upon itself to remove you from the presence of those individuals, or vice versa, so that you can process the information, so that person can heal, so that you can carry on your vibrational pathway, and again, inspire and help and heal as many people as possible. It's a very unusual process, and it's something that I've experienced many times with friends, family, and I let people be. I don't judge, and I simply trust the inspiration I'm getting, and I follow my own path, so to speak. But I do continue to send unconditional love, healing, and blessings to those individuals to help them on their pathway. Because at some stage, let's face it, we've all been through these situations ourselves. I know I certainly have, where a lot of these uncomfortable vibrations, emotions, energies, old belief systems, many people would call it the dark night of the soul, and in many respects it is, because you're releasing some of these dark energies or lower vibrations that have no purpose in being in your vibration anymore, because you've outgrown them and it's time to let them go. Like I say, I've experienced this, and it can be very harrowing, and you just have to take one step at a time, be very patient with yourself, and also be non-judgmental, but also be very honest with yourself. Because we all, let's face it, we all have a tendency to, when we see something that we don't like and appreciate in ourselves, and we don't fancy dealing with it because of the pain emotionally or physically, we have a tendency to push those emotions down and think, well, I'll deal with that later. I've got too much to do at the moment. With this being said, the dark night of the soul you can't avoid it anymore because you're bombarded with all of these emotions, situations, and it kind of all happens at once. And it's a complete reconfiguration as you as an individual, as you get to meet your true authentic self. It can be a blessing in disguise. I certainly wouldn't be here talking to you right here, right now, if I hadn't gone through this experience. And it is a complete shift where you get to, I would say, connecting with your true authenticity and live that vibration without the vibration of fear and worrying about what other people think, say, or do with your new vibration there. So it's a blessing in disguise. It's a beautiful process. Well, it is actually when you've come out the other side and you are observing how you were during those times, and you start to analyze the situation and see the blessings and the lessons that you learned from it. Such a beautiful experience, and it can turn your life literally around in such a beautiful way if you start to look at things differently. But also, talking about vibration and energy, you may feel the inclination to be inspired to visit locations, maybe locations that you don't regularly visit or you've never even been before, and yet you feel this stirring, this yearning. I don't know why, but I've got to go there. I don't know why, but I've got to go there. As you've heard me say before, I go on many adventures of a weekend and I love it. And this is the case with me. A lot of the time, I just feel this calling. I can't shake it off. I feel it in my gut, this fire in my belly there. And then I get this location name. I do a bit of research, how I'm going to get there and how I'm going to stay there. I don't want to know the history of the place or anything like that. I just need to go. And so I do this. And what my guides have told me many times, and this happens, believe it or not, with a lot of us, like I say, as the title suggests today, subconsciously healing, that we're guided to those locations because on some level, that location needs new vibrational frequencies or alignment, balance, alignment within it. And my guides have called this, mending sacred geometry and reconfiguring ley lines. And the best way that they described this to me, what was happening, I didn't know that this was happening and why I was called there until eventually my guides had the conversation with me and told me why I was actually at some of these locations. And they said, well, if you can imagine the ley lines and the sacred geometry around the earth there, everything is all connected. But with everybody's vibration changing, with everybody's, the environment changing, the environmental energies changing, it creates gaps and breaks in these connections within the ley lines, within the sacred geometry of that area. And so what they said, when you go and when other people are inspired to do the same and walk around these areas, what you will be doing, or what spirit or universal energy will be doing whilst you're there, is bringing forward these frequency codes, this vibration, this healing, this balance energy through you as you're walking in that environment. And actually you're fixing those gaps in those ley lines. So you're reconnecting those ley lines so that they can function at a more high vibrational reality. And as we say, everything is connected. And so with you doing that, it's going to have an impact not only on those surrounding areas that you happen to be inspired to go and visit, but also globally, universally as well, because it all has a knock-on effect. So the next time that you feel the inclination to go to a new location, or maybe your own town, village, or city, you don't know why, but you've got to walk round a certain street. You may find yourself walking laps, doing the same location for a couple of laps, and you don't know why you're doing it, but you can't stop yourself from doing it. You just feel that you have to be there and you have to tread that path. Then potentially this is what's happening energetically behind the scenes. You're reconnecting some old ley lines together. You're reconnecting the sacred geometry so that the energy is more stronger, it flows better, and then that in turn has an impact, not only that environment, but society and the collective consciousness as a whole. It's a lot to digest, and I know for some of you that are listening, this may sound like absolute, what is he talking about? Honestly, what is he on about? That is just far beyond bonkers. And I understand why you would think that way. But I would suggest to you, just have an open mind and just be willing to observe and notice when you do feel that inclination to visit these different places, and notice how different you feel, maybe emotionally, energetically, and notice the location that you're visiting when you're going there. How does that place feel when you're there? When you simply just arrive in that location, how does it feel? What vibes are you getting? Are you feeling intimidated? Are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling a little bit paranoid? And then I would say to base that feeling when you first arrive to after you've walked round and you're about to leave that location, and just check in and notice the subtle changes of how you feel about that place after you've visited it and after you've walked round the location. It will be very, very subtle, but I almost guarantee you that you will notice, if you're observing and paying attention, some subtle changes, if not in the environment's energy whilst you're there, in your own vibration. Because let's face it, on some level as well, looking at the other side of the coin, you may also be inspired to visit that location because it contains high vibrational healing codes of light that you need as a vessel, as an individual. And you're not likely to get the purest vibration of those codes from anywhere else other than that location. And I'll give you an example of this. Most of you are aware of the place of Glastonbury in the United Kingdom. And one of their main monuments, if you like, is Glastonbury Tor. Now, you've probably seen this on lots of postcards, pictures, online and everywhere. And basically, it used to be, to my knowledge, an old church on the top of a hill that was then demolished, partly demolished. And also it is said that Jesus Christ himself actually visited that location as well. And so they say that it has the Christ consciousness interwoven into that area where the Glastonbury Tor is. And I've only been twice. I would go more times, but life and everything else gets really busy. But actually I went there for the second time. I went there this year, and I sat there. It's a bit of a journey to get to the top of the Tor, bit of a walk, bit of a pilgrimage, if you like, but it is worth the effort, because once you get up to the top of that, honestly, the energy is like nothing else. You just want to sit down. You just want to chill. You want to admire the beautiful scenery there as well, because the scenery is absolutely jaw-dropping. But whilst you're there sitting, you feel at peace with yourself. You feel comfortable. You don't want to leave. You feel like you could stay there for hours on end. But obviously time marches on, and we can't stay there all day, so we have to move on. But I experienced that this year, and the energy that I felt from it, it felt like, again, I'd returned to another level of my true authentic self, where some of the insecurities that maybe I had been carrying, the worrying, were simply fading away. They were taken away from me, to the point where I had I'm going to follow my truth now. I mean, I do anyway, but this was on a different level. It doesn't faze me to visit these locations on my own. I travel all over the UK doing this. And I would say it's down to the fact that some of the healing that has occurred within me, visiting some of these sacred sites, has had some profound impact on me on a deep subconscious level that has given me that confidence to trust the process and to listen to the calling and visit some of these sites. It's almost like they would have called it back in the day a pilgrimage. It's almost as if it's a modern day pilgrimage that I'm following, and I'm just trusting my vibrations, that calling, that fire in my belly there, and going to visit these locations for whatever reason. It could be, like we've described there, for the mending and repairing of the ley lines or the sacred geometry of that area. Or it could be that I need to collect some high vibrational frequency codes to be installed into my vessel. And when this happens, it's not a selfish thing, because when you look after yourself and when you accept high vibrational frequency codes, bear in mind that you're getting these for a reason. And 9 times out of 10, one of those reasons is that you're going to share that vibration, and you're going to share it far and wide. So when you receive that, whoever you come into interaction with, the collective of people, or if you happen to, like we've been describing, go to a different location, you will be imparting some of those new frequency codes and vibrations that you've collected and you've worked on some level, on a subconscious level, shall we say. You'll be delivering those energies into that environment as well. So everybody will benefit from you observing, listening for that calling, and actually putting this work into practice just by being present, by being observant, and trusting the process. I know to most of you that are listening will be thinking, what is this guy talking about? Honestly, this sounds bonkers. I understand that, because at one time, hands on heart, I would have felt the same. But I would say it's through the doing the inner work, going through the dark night of the soul process, and also being around other individuals that hold this light, that have done this work, that have visited these sacred sites and brought these energies back. And with that being said, like we've just been talking about, those energies filtered through into my vibration and helped me get through the dark night of the soul. It helped me to find my true essence, my true self, my calling, my path, and also for me to do what they were doing by listening to their calling and following their own truth. It enabled me to do that with myself there. So it's a very subtle process. It happens behind the scenes, unless you particularly are sensitive and you have the ability to shut out the rest of the world, the noise of the world, if you like, the day-to-day decisions and choices that you have to do. When you shut a lot of that noise down, then you will have a glimpse of these healings and these upgrades and these ascension codes happening behind the scenes. You'll start to notice and observe your own vibration changing, maybe because of these new inspirations and healings that are being gifted to you on a daily basis. Your personality starts to change. The way that you observe the world starts to change. You're all about service. You're all about helping people. The way that you conduct yourself may be on a physical level. Your mannerisms may start to change, facial expressions, body language. And you may also notice that you have more patience with people. And you're a really good listener, where perhaps at one time you wasn't able to do that. So some of these subtle changes will be noticed not only by yourself, but also friends, family, people that you're close to, colleagues. When you are coming into alignment with these vibrations and you're trusting the process, you are always guided and you are always supported. So never assume that you're on your own, even though on some level, physically, you will have to walk and tread your pathway on your own in order to find your true self. And what I mean by that is, like we've been describing earlier, because the vibrations are changing. Everybody shifts, everybody changes, and certain people may not align with you anymore. And so don't take this personally. Don't judge them. Simply follow your truth and know that you're never alone, because you have your higher self. Spirit guides and helpers and inspirers are always around you, giving you the next piece of the puzzle in order to make the next leap of faith on your destination, on your timeline. So trust the process. Like we say, everybody is changing. So show that level of compassion when you do notice these subtle changes within friends and family around you. And have that understanding that, if you haven't gone through that yourself, at some stage in your life, you will face something similar, like we were saying, the dark night of the soul. After all, we can only store so much energy and so much old belief systems and patterns and vibrations that don't serve us anymore, until eventually I would say that holding vessel snaps on some level, where a lot of these vibrations come to the surface. We can't ignore them anymore. We can't hide them away. We have to face them head on and understand them and be compassionate with ourselves whilst we're doing this. There's no right or wrong answer to going through this process, and there's no right or wrong length of time, So what works for somebody could get over something in a matter of days. Other people, it could take years. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all down to vibration and what you're willing and what you're not willing to embrace in terms of healing energy and inspirational energy. But you've just got to be gentle with yourself, be loving with yourself, and allow yourself to go through this process in the knowledge that you're going to come out the other side as a more awakened, enlightened individual, and you'll be an instrument of light in order for this healing vibrational frequency to filtrate through you, to have a greater impact on the people and communities around you, and also the ley lines and the sacred geometry. So I hope this has given you something to think about, and consider that actually what is happening behind the scenes when you're rushing around here, there and everywhere. There is this invisible form of healing that is occurring. Well, we're now going to move into the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeled section, which sees me becoming a vessel for Spirit to bring their wisdom and communications through. But before we get to that, I'd like to check in with everybody to see how you're doing. Are you noticing synchronicities happening all around you? Or some people may call them, that's just a coincidence. I tend to believe that it's more synchronicities and alignments. And I was away at the weekend at Canterbury, and I experienced a beautiful synchronicity. It's probably far too long for me to explain in this part of the show, but I will base an episode, I feel, around it, because this seems to be happening more often than not. I just wanted to throw that out there and see if anybody else has been noticing these energy shifts and things coming into alignment very subtly. And you have to be paying attention, but they certainly are coming in to fruition there. So anyway, like I say, we're going to be moving into the next segment of the show now, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and take notes if you wish to do so for this week's channeling.
What a wonderful time to be alive. Most of you may not be thinking that with all the chaos, perceived chaos, that seems to be happening around you all in this moment in time. And we say that this has all been done by design. It's simply all the old energies. The energies that have been laying dormant or maybe hiding behind a facade, shall we say. All of those energies are coming up so all can see them. And it's only when you can see them fully and experience their capacity of their energy and their intention that you can then choose whether you give that your attention, your power, your vibration or not to. And so that is what's occurring at this moment in time. It may seem like utter chaos to most of you that are witnessing it, but we say, hold your nerve, hold your vibration, for you are on the cusp of change. Everything's going to change, but you have to be aware of it in the first place in order to make it change. And so that is what is occurring. There's still a lot yet to come in this year of 2024. We understand that that may come as a frustration and a shock to you, hearing that sentiment. But what we wish to encourage you to do is to remain calm and remain focused upon what you feel is right for you in your vibration. Never mind of what is being presented to you. Yes, it's okay to be aware of these, shall we say, untruths coming to the surface. And then, well, like we've previously said, you can make that choice whether you give it your time and attention or not to. Focus on what you want to create. After all, we've said many occasions that you are creators. You create your own environment in which you live in. And most of you haven't been aware of these vibrational energies that have been happening right under your nose for such a long period of time. It's become the normality for you, and we say this is not the truth of the situation. The reason why we're talking to you in this fashion today is just to make you aware of what is happening and to let you know that you have the power, the energy to change the outwardly perception of all that seems to be happening. Now, all of you are going through or witnessing a time of change in terms of financial situations. You're seeing that the financial world, the prices are going up, and it's going up, and it seem to be escalating with no let-up. And we say at some stage the bevy or the bridge will break, and it's upon that time that new beginnings can occur. But only you as individuals will decide what you will and what you won't accept. There will be a period of time where you will go back to the old ways of bartering, exchanging gifts and services in terms of balance. What you feel is right for one, what you feel is right for another, and you'll go through that phase. And then that way, what you will find is you'll feel that you'll be getting more value. Both parties will be getting more value than what is generally perceived as value by the constraints that keep you small and restricted in your experience. You must understand we're limited in the communications that we can exchange with you, but we just wanted to set that seed in your mind to let you know that a lot of these changes are coming in for the betterment. Even though whilst you're going through them, they may appear rather drastic and rather negative in their intention. And we assure you that a lot of this, what you're witnessing, is the old guard, the old vibration showing its hand. And so it can be removed and replaced by something even greater than what you've ever experienced on your timeline within your earthbound incarnation. And if there's one set statement we could give you, and that is fair for fairness, fairness for all, fairness for all. And so a society based upon those principles will thrive and flourish. And also, we've said this many times, that you will form your own communities, you will form your own societies in which you want to live in. And then you'll find that it will be more harmonious. There will be a beautiful vibration in that. And these old energies of being territorial and dramatic and all of these energies will sizzle away, because after all, love conquers all. Love will mend these bridges and repair and design and build new worlds, new areas for you all to survive in. Survive is probably a poor choice of words, because in actual fact you will be thriving in your existences here on the planet. And energy is the ultimate currency. So just be aware when you're using the bartering system that you make sure you're not shortchanging yourself for your self-worth and your beautiful energy that you bring into the environment and any project or job that you undertake. Thank you for listening. I'm now going to pass you over to another communicator who wishes to come forward and speak further to you.
It's of one great pleasure that I feel very humbled to come forward today. I've been elected to step forward and talk about the divine feminine vibration. Now, a lot of you that are listening to this may be masculine, male energies. And we say to you it does not matter, because you all have masculine and feminine energies within you. Some of those energies are more dominant than the other. And we say that you are going through a period of change and time, where no matter what your sex is, you will be experiencing that level of sensitivity, of receptibility. This is the feminine energies that are dominantly coming up. Quite rightly so, because they have been out of balance for many, many eons in time. And we say this vibration brings forward a more caring and compassionate community in which the new bedrock for your existence will thrive upon. You will be more empathic to those around you, picking up their vibrational energies, picking up their insecurities and the truth of who they are. Rather than seeing on a face-to-face vibration, you will be feeling into their presence. And this is a great tool to use in order to build new societies, communities, and worlds from the truth of the vibrational alignment. Most of you will be noticing that your level of creativity will be maximized to its full capacity. In other words, you will be getting lots of inspirations, lots of ideas flooding into your mind. And these ideas have seemed to have just come out of the blue. This could be inventions, time-saving, labor devices that the ideas are put into your mind. And also ways of managing your finances and the household differently in a way that feels like a win-win-win case scenario rather than a one-sided argument like it seems to be at this moment in time. As the previous communicator has alluded to, it's in these times where greed is rampant, and so the feminine energies, the receptivity, the feeling into situations will allow these energies to form some sort of equilibrium so that it can flow with ease and grace, and that level of harmonic resonance can be restored into each and every existence. There will be a lot of you that will be finding that relationships, whether that be personal or in a friendship, will be breaking down and going their own separate ways. This is simply the energies are no longer in alignment, and both parties are going on a journey of self-discovery and also evolution in many different forms. Some are heightening their vibration and going on a heightened timeline. Others are following through with their current timeline, not wanting to change and expand. And we're saying this is not a judgment by us saying this, not at all. This is an observation of what is unfolding. And it's a beautiful thing because the earth, whichever way you choose, the earth will appear completely different to both sides of those energies. Even though you're both coexisting in a similar timeline, your perception of it will be completely different. What we would like to share with you is for you to make sure that you're getting lots of exercise. whether this is stretching, allowing the blood to flow freely and openly through the physical vessel, or whether this is running, walking, swimming, or general exercise, you will find that natural desire and craving for your body to go through this time of change. It needs to be refreshed and regulated, needs to be looked after. After all, it is housing your soul, because it is a vessel for you to thrive, observe, and exist in your dimension on the earth plane. So there's going to be that inclination to do more that serves your physical body in high vibrational living. You'll be removing elements and facets from your life that go against this frequency of high vibrational living. We just wanted to come forward and share what you will be going through in the up and coming months of 2024. You have nothing to worry or fear about. If you're coming from the perception of your heart and feeling alignment, you will flow with ease and grace, and all of your needs, all of your desires will be provided for you. But you must show that level of respectability, responsibility, faith and peace and trust at all times. We send you our love, healing and blessings, and we look forward to coming to convey these messages to you in future recordings. Goodbye for now, and God bless.
Fantastic communications there from the world of spirit. Very interesting to hear about the old energies rising up. And this is to give us that gift of contrast so that we can make more positive choices of what we do want to occur. Also remaining calm because of this process occurring throughout the course of this year. But also it's going to help us to create more sensitive communities where everybody thrives and where there's fairness for all there. And also interesting to hear about the balancing of the masculine and the feminine energies and that level of sensitivity increasing whilst we need to look after the physical body there. So we're going to move into the next segment of the show, which is this week's energy forecast reading. So sit back, relax and enjoy.
Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday the 21st of October 2024. Now, those of you that have watched me work will know that I connect with my spirit guides and helpers and also consult the wisdom of the Angel Tarot card. So what I'm about to do is just shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's energy forecast reading. So here is your card. I'm now going to link into the vibration of that. Okay, well, first of all, I'm being told to tell you to slow down this week. You have been firing on all cylinders and actually working with adrenaline through the last few months of your life there. And I feel with this being said, it's draining you. It's exhausting you to the point where you're kind of reacting to life rather than living life. And so this week we'll see you actually slowing down, taking a more relaxed pace. And in doing so, it's going to slow that fight or flight mode where the adrenaline has been kicking in, where you have been feeling anxious and on edge because of it being ramped up there. I also sense within this week that there's going to be a change in communications with people. And I feel that there won't be any sort of time of day for small talk. You will find it very banal and very dull and non-productive to the point where you walk away or ignore or switch off when people are using small talk there. Instead, what you are after is deep conversations where you can find out deep truths about people. You know, what makes them tick? What is their preferences and the way that they conduct themselves in their own life. That will fascinate you more, and the way that they pursue their choices and what choices are they influenced by. That will interest you more. So look out for deep and meaningful conversations. This will be very inspirational for yourself. And actually, with you slowing down, you'll be able to take on board the information that's being shared with you. Prior to that, because you were rushing around, acting and reacting on your adrenaline,
you wasn't able to take in that information, and so you was missing out on some level there. I do sense that this week you'll also be dealing with an element connected to your past, and this is connected with emotions. And what I'm hearing from my guides are things, people and things that did you bad, that caused you upset, that made you reevaluate your life. Now, some of these emotions will come up to the surface, and I feel as though it's just to remind you how far you've actually come on your timeline within your life. You've let go of a lot of these circumstances. And so when these things come up this week, you'll actually think, well, why am I thinking that? I've moved beyond that. I have no reason to be thinking that. My guides are saying it's just old facets as well, pockets and debris of information energetically that on some level you're holding on to. And to release it, all you have to do in your head is say the word thank you. Thank you. Show that level of gratitude, because it has led you on a path where you happen to be at this moment in time. Can I say in terms of emotions there, and I want to say love as well and affection, this week you'll be more affectionate with people. Whether this will be with your time, with your energy, listening more, but I also feel there will be an inclination either to hold people or to interact with them on some level, whether this is in the form of a relationship, a romantic relationship, or a friendship. There's going to be this divine oneness vibration, this spark that you will feel, that you'll want to connect with them on a deeper level there. So do watch out for that. It's beautiful because it shows that you're expanding and there's a level of growth that's happening, and you're connecting with the high vibrations that are in and around you. So let's turn over the card and see what the card has to say for you. At the top of the card, it reads 5 of Earth. So I'd like you to research the angel number of number 5. As I'm being shown that, I'm being shown also a star. So this is to remind you how far you've come on your pathway, and also to celebrate your successes there as well, because it's now time that you take ownership of who you are and what you've achieved. Earth to me represents grounding of your energies, being more present, and also connecting more with nature. This could be going out in woodland, going out for a walk, or just simply observing the birds flying in the air, just being at one and at peace with nature. At the bottom of this card, it reads, lack, worry, assistance. What I feel that represents, as we said earlier, about you releasing some of those old cords of attachment that you didn't realize were still there. Well, some of those were experiences that you went through where you did experience lack and anxiety and worrying about finances. This week will see you letting that go. And as you let it go, you'll notice more abundance coming into your life there. And life will seem to flow very quickly for you, as the card would suggest, assistance. That is assistance from the universe there, the energy coming forward. So taking a look around the card, we have the color of green. To me, that represents go for it. It also represents growth in your life, and it represents the emotions connected to the heart chakra. What I'm also hearing is a new chapter, and I'm hearing the song by Simply Red, A New Flame Has Come. So if you can research the lyrics of that song, there will be additional content and information for you. But I feel what that represents is a new level of passion connected to your heart chakra is now entering your life, where you're going to walk and tread a new pathway on purpose, on your truth there. It's also telling you, as you can see, it's moving into a lime green color there at the bottom. This is talking about resting in order to get your energy recalibrated and to get more zest back into your life there. It's also talking about you not compromising yourself, your authenticity, to be liked and appreciated by others. It's telling you the opposite, to actually stand true in your vibration and let people accept you for who you truly are. And if they can't do that, then that is their decision, not yours. So just let it go. Looking into the artwork itself, we have this feminine energy that's talking about your sensitivity there, trusting your intuition, and we have some steps there. So it's telling you to take one step at a time by trusting your intuition. This is moving forward in your life, and it's in every direction: work and career, home and family, love and romance. all of those. So take your time with that, one step at a time, build your confidence up, and notice that you'll make massive leaps by taking your time rather than forcing things to happen and rushing things. The universe will be working with you. We have also 6 windows there as well. So I want to give you the angel number 6 to research. And this is also representing number 6 on a dice. So that is the highest score on a dice. So that is telling you to take a chance. Take a chance. You're safe, you're protected, and some beautiful opportunities and luck is going to come your way because you've had that faith. What I am getting with this is, as we can see, there's lots of coins on these glass. So that's in terms of finances there coming into you, and also inspiration, I feel. Inspiration for maybe business opportunities, ideas coming in that will attract the finances to you in that respect. There is a doorway opening for you. As we said earlier, a new chapter in your life is opening. Now, are you brave enough? Are you courageous enough to take those tiny steps to walk towards it and walk through that door onto a new chapter of your life? You will be trusting, and I'm hearing, on a wing and a prayer, but you've got to follow that intuition of yours. You will be guided and supported by the angelic realm, as you can see just here, that will be encouraging you to walk through these doors. It will test you because you will be walking out of your comfort zone, and I feel this is in connection with emotions, with the heart chakra. Moving beyond your comfort zone in that respect there, but you are going to be catered for and looked after. So that's what I picked up for this week's energy forecast reading. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting and sharing. If you've enjoyed this forecast and you would like to help and support the work that I do, I have got a buy me a coffee link either above or below this video, which is a virtual tip jar, so all of your generous donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the spiritual work that I do to help people raise their vibration on their pathway. If you would like to book in with any of the services such as private readings, etc., then please head over to my website www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can find me and book in with me on Facebook, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium. Join me every Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal and self-help on www.pulsetalkradio.com. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Bye for now.
It sounds like we're in for an interesting week ahead, doesn't it, by the sounds of that forecast reading? And I don't know about anybody else, but I really look forward to the opportunity of kicking back slightly, taking some time out, and maybe just slowing down. That's as good as a rest, isn't it? Just slowing down a little bit, and it allows you to open up to new opportunities and inspiration and guidance, and also just see life, what's really happening around you in your present moment. Perhaps you've been too busy to notice. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. And as you know, all of the information is either channeled or inspired from spirit. So I hope the content has helped you in some way, shape or form and given you that alternative perspective that you can then embrace into your own lifestyle there. Can I ask you and invite you, if you have any questions you'd like to pose to the show about anything in the spiritual, paranormal or self-help section, please do get in touch by going over to my website, www.glennboddicespiritualmedium.com, or email me at glennboddice@live.co.uk. As ever, it would be absolutely tremendous to hear from you and also to help you with whatever vexes you at this moment in time, with either spiritual, paranormal or self-help matters there. So what I'd like to do is I'd like you to pay attention, slow down, take stock of where you are in your life, and also notice, as I was saying earlier in the episode, about synchronicities. Look out for these subtle changes or alignments in vibration. Some people call them coincidences. I call them alignments and synchronicities, because everything has a purpose, has a reason. And when you take that time out, you are more susceptible to spotting them. So have a fabulous week, everybody. Join me next week at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time with this very show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice on www.pulsetalkradio.com. Take care, everybody. Look after yourself. God bless, and bye for now.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond. For more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium.